every director and musical director and most actors have a list of shows that we call a bucket list. They are generally shows that don't get produced very frequently because of either the subject matter or the difficulty of producing the show. So when the opportunity comes along and you see that the title of that show, it's something that you really want to be involved with, and that's what drew me to this production. Sunday in the Park with George is, on the surface, about an artist who is creating a work that is in a new style, and it's something that no one has ever seen before, and it's something that he has felt drawn to do. So what do I look for when I want to musical direct a certain show? A lot of times I'll look for the composer, and Stephen Sondheim is hard to beat. One of the great things about Stephen Sondheim is that each project he takes on has its own personality. He started with a very traditional show called A Funny Thing Happened on the Way to the Forum, which was very much in the old style book musical of the early 60s. He went from that into shows that were not necessarily book musicals, but they called them concept musicals that were popular in the 70s. Follies, Company, and a little night music. Although they all had books and they all had plots, it was more about a concept of how the people in the show or in the plot, in the book of the show, came together for a certain reason. It's not a typical book musical, although there is a plot. It's more about the concept of an artist painting a picture. I have a favorite song in this show, and it has stuck with me since I saw it originally on Broadway. It's a song called Finishing the Hat. And it is all about the things that people give up to create what they want to create and what they are passionate about. And knowing that no one is ever going to know the amount of time, the amount of focus, the amount of patience, and the amount of sacrifice that it takes to be great. The biggest challenge of the music in this show for me is living up to its history. It's a challenge to make sure that all the beats in the music line up with the notes on the page, and that everybody makes the entrance at the right time and everybody cuts off at the right time. And Stephen Sondheim takes each individual characters and gives them an individual line or thought, and a lot of times those overlap. So trying to get the actors to be able to know what they're saying, when they're saying it, and how it all fits together musically is a challenge. But the cast is doing such a great job, and we're so proud of them. I think the thing that is going to be the most interesting is comparing the musical styles in the first act to the musical style in the second act. In the first act, which takes place in the late 1800s, it's a rather symphonic or a chamber music sound. In the second act, which takes place in 1984, which was current when the show was written, it's a rather electronic, rather synthesized sound of the music. And it's interesting to see the juxtaposition of those two musical styles in the same show. So it's a show that I have appreciated and loved since I saw it on Broadway back in 1984. And the fact that it has endured for all these years, I think speaks to its universal theme. And I think it's something that, although people who are involved in the arts will appreciate it on one level, anyone who has a passion for anything in their life will appreciate it on another level. So I think it's something that, again, has a universal theme, and we can't wait to share it with our audiences.